All right. Hey, what's going on? Thank you for taking a look at what is included in this free resource. So, I had a couple one off lessons that were like $1 or something, comparing two songs and sometimes comparing one song um, in my products. And then I didn't really use them this year. And everything was remote. And then we got to close to spring break, and half of my students were really like, hey, can we stop pumping the gas and pump the brakes because they just needed to make up so much work. And on top of that, everything was really grinding and working really hard. There wasn't a lot of places you could hide and really have fun and share things. So I wanted to do that, but I also we have a job to do. Like I need to get them ready to compare two things based on theme. So this year I kind of repackaged how I did some of this, and I'll show you what's included with this pack and then how I did it. So what's included? There's this project and two lessons and something you can do on day 3 if nothing else is working, if no one's ready to share their own thing from the project. So day 1, um, I didn't show them the video, but I played the David Bowie Space Oddity, and while that was going on, they were looking at the lyrics. So I don't even see the lyrics here, so I have to edit this product. I messed up. So like they had the lyrics in front of them, and we looked at those together. That will be fixed immediately. Um, then day 2, we did that with two other science fiction songs, but these were like rap. And here are the lyrics for this one. Positive Contact was really hard to follow a little bit because of the lyrics. Both of these are appropriate for school. All of the songs are appropriate for school, but this is like a science fiction story, right? Enthuse my phalanx with my literary talents. Like he is doing rap battles in space, and this is like a giant metaphor. Galactic Planetary is barely science fiction if you get rid of the chorus. So day 2, we listened to these and we kind of filled these out, but also we went through and we're like, okay, well let's find the rhymes. And students were picking out like smile, wild, dial, versatile. It's very simple in intergalactic. And then we were doing the same thing for this for a little bit, and picking out some of the literary elements, the alliteration, and this kind of really got in depth. In day 3, I was finally like, okay, you guys are ready to do it yourself. So I showed them what it's going to look like. This is what we came up with. Like the students were like, oh, it's end rhyme, it's mile, Nile, child, style, But then when they were doing it in this one, we couldn't even get 2 sentences in, but before it was getting way more complicated. Transmutation, brand new statements, gape and open. Now let's see. It's a lot. We zoomed up now. Increased the font size of the alliteration as it appeared. So that's all in that second document. And what I told them is like, look, we looked at 2 short stories side by side, poems side by side. We just did it with songs, and now you're going to do it yourself. So you're going to find 2 songs. Day 1, the goal was just to have them find the songs, copy the YouTube links, and copy the lyrics out. Copy and pasting, and that had its own issues because students couldn't copy and paste, and we had to go over how to do that, cleaning it up so it wasn't all like crazy highlighting behind it. That was the issue on day 1. It was just getting that. Day 2, if you've completed that from day 1, Now you're going into the lyrics and you're highlighting the rhymes and the alliteration and the if there's personification, if there's metaphors. If there's a favorite line and you're not sure why that you like it, maybe you highlight that or bold it, and we'll go over it together as a class. So that was day 2. Not everyone was there, so some students had like one song on that day, and we'd go over it and be like, okay, well, what is this really about? Oh, it's a love song. Okay, well, let's find another love song, or let's find another broken heart song, or something like that. And then day 3, if we got there, you were working on these paragraphs. Essentially, what were the songs and what did they have in common? Now you're going to look at one song, and now you're going to look at the other song. So it's like the compare and then to contrast. And specifically, each of these second and third paragraphs has a quote from the source, and then explained like why you put that quote. So when students were getting here, it's like, okay, well, hey, look, all week we've only had to do 3 paragraphs. That's not too bad. We got to. Then like you can go in and see who's ready to share. And if you're on I don't know what if you're remote, maybe you can zoom into to their lyrics and as it's playing. But this was a good couple days. 2 days of going side by side, and then a couple days where they have specific tasks, and then they can share, which is something that there's not a lot of if your districts are remote. So I was really looking for like, okay, how can I get them engaged in it? They've been working all year, but there's been little fun. So like, how do we do both? So this was kind of enhancing my other like one-off lessons of like looking at the song lyrics and turning it into like a really cool project, because I had this little ditzy $1 product as my featured, and also I was like, look, there's there's a couple specific ones that I have videos for the inspirational people research project. The chapter questions are chapter questions, but there's 1 or 2. The deep dive into a decade, a research project. There's a couple really comprehensive, like specifically those 2 that they're every year I use. This one works for if you were doing Harry Potter, but those specifically those that I linked in this product description, I use every year, and that's not just killing a good week or 2. That really has become something I kind of look forward to. So I wanted to make sure the free product was something representative of like the quality of work that you get out of some of my packages, specifically those big projects, because it just felt weird to see a $1 product as my free thing. So that's what's included. This last thing, these lyric comparison 3, in one of my classes, no one was ready to share. Like like when it was time for the top students to be deep into those paragraphs, the bottom students are still like getting their songs and looking at the lyrics. I'm looking for students to share, and in one class, no one was ready. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to just be like, okay, get working. So I threw up Pink Floyd's Mother and the Scissor Sisters, Take Your Mama Out All Night. And they have way more differences than similarities. They are just loosely following mothers, but very deep. And I was trying to say, like, those struggling students on that day, like, hey, if I don't overthink it. if you're this isn't meant to stress you out. This was the end of a marking period, and this was meant to be the fun thing. And I'm I was given heavy on participation and sharing and effort, but the kids were like, I can't do this, or all the songs I listen to have profanity. I was like, okay, well, start searching, start looking, start digging. And anyway, that's what is in the project. I hope it serves your classes. Happy teaching, and feel free to leave a comment. Let me know how it went. Thank you.